Welcome back. All right, so before we move any further with our land navigation course, we kind of need to discuss something that seems pretty simple, but it can be quite complex, and that's north. And everyone's thinking, how's north complex? Well, because there's actually three norths. The first north, which is actually the least useful when it comes to any type of navigation or finding your way in any way, shape, or form, is true north. So basically, true north is the very top of the globe. So the most northern point on the globe. So if you have the globe, the very most northern point, that's going to be. I'll show you here. All right. So we'll take this apple for instance. Okay. So if this apple is the Earth, okay, this is your true north. This is up here. And that never changes because the Earth rotates on its axis. So true north never changes. It's always right up here. So now the thing is that the Earth is, we have a molten core, right? We have a core made of molten metal. So as that metal is shifting in there, that's what causes magnetic north. So magnetic north, that's where the needle on your compass points to. However, because of the molten core of the planet that's constantly moving, magnetic north can shift a little bit. And so that's why when you're using a compass, you have the deviation lines on your compass, because that way you can account for the slight deviation between true north and magnetic north. Now, this could be evident. So let's say that you are near a huge chunk of metal and you're trying to use a compass. Well, that metal is going to affect your compass because the compass is attracted to it's magnetic. And so that metal can throw your compass off. And so that's why I say when you do want to take a compass reading, you want to be away from any large metallic items. So, and then the last north is grid north or map north. And that's where your grid lines on the map are. So now the problem with grid north is that, let's say, for instance, you take this apple and you draw a line, and you have a line that goes from here down to here, and you just have your lines all the way around your apple here, and then your longitude lines, and then you have your latitude lines, which circle the globe. Well, if you were to take that and lay it flat, which is what a map is, it's not going to be exact because you can't flatten out something round. And so, but that's where you can use magnetic north and grid north together to help you navigate. So it's just well, and we're gonna be moving on into maps, so we're gonna discuss this a little bit more in detail when we actually have maps in front of us. But the big takeaway from this is that the top of the planet is always true north, and that's really kind of like the most useless north that there is. But you have magnetic north. That's where your compass is going to point you to, and then you have your grid north, which is the map. So when you're using your compass and your map together, if you think, just like going back to how if you divide this up into sections, well, when you're looking at a map, the map's going to be divided into grids, squares on any map. You can have your longitude lines and your latitude lines, and they will section up the planet. And so that's why you can use your compass to find out where those grid points are, which is what we did in the military. We would do land navigation, and we would have a grid point we'd have to find. So like when I went through WLC, Yeah, when I went through it, it was WLC Warriors Leaders course. And when we did the land navigation, they would give us a set of coordinates, give us a compass and a map, and we would have to find out where we would have to get to the point, but we wouldn't know we were at that point. We would have to, we'd have our grid, we'd have our compass, and all right, go. So, and that's pretty much how a compass works with a map. And so we've already talked about our different compasses. We've talked about Lanzattic compass. We've talked about a base plate compass, and like the Lanzattic compass is more useful when you're actually walking, and your base plate is more useful when you're using a map. But they both can do essentially the same thing. And as we move forward, the next several weeks, we're going to be talking about maps, and then we're going to be bringing the compasses and the maps together to finish up our land navigation lessons here. So, but that's basically it. So just a quick little video, but again, we've already learned about the compasses. Now we've learned about north, and then next week we'll be starting to work on different types of maps. So, and there's a lot of different types of maps. There's a lot of different types of maps out there, and we're going to talk about several of them and which ones are good, which ones are not useful, and then but it's important to understand maps. Not only are we going to be talking about the types of maps, but we're going to go into how to read a map, how to understand a map, and then finally we're going to talk about how to use maps and compasses together, and then we'll be moving on. So, but that's it. So just remember, true north, top of the planet; magnetic north, where your compass points you; grid north or map north, the top of the map. So it's and that's pretty much how it is. Top of the map is always your map north, your grid north, which points up. All right, so that's pretty much it. Again, next week we'll be delving into deeper, but just a quick little snippet here on north. Maybe some things you didn't know, but hopefully you know now. All right, hey, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate having you here. If you liked the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And yeah, you know what? We just got to keep pushing forward and keep preparing, because things are going to get crazy.